never make me a love song. That is corny. Trust me.
My baddest women ever, I call her Rihanna.
Everything can be very light, nothing that like really into things.
No, I get heavy on a couple drugs, but this is more about me and Serena, so I
gathered. I gathered.
Have the fairy tale like, oh, Drake started a family with Rihanna, like this is like come on, where's the trust?
Drake can try all he wants to act like Rihanna was never that deep for him, but the receipts tell a different story. And now, it looks like Rihanna herself has finally had enough of his weird obsession and session and is subtly calling him out. For years, we all watched as Drake practically worshipped the ground RiRi walked on, but she never gave him that same energy. Then, when she moved on with ASAP Rocky, Drake flipped the switch. Suddenly, he was the bitter ex, throwing shade at every opportunity. He even dragged her name into his beef with Kendrick. But now, after years of letting him ramble, Rihanna is finally speaking up. And guess what? Drake's diehard fans are losing their minds, viciously attacking RiRi online like she's the one who can't let go. It's getting messy. So what exactly pushed Rihanna to finally break her silence? And why are Drake's fans coming for her like she's the villain in his never-ending sob story? Let's break it all down. Drake has never hidden the fact that he's been in love with Rihanna since he was 22. But Rihanna? She's always played it cool. Too cool for him. And now she just served up some next-level shade in her new Savage X Fenty promo ahead of Valentine's Day. When asked whether she prefers love songs or love letters, she didn't hold back for a second. Love song or love letter? The interviewer asked. Her response, please never make me a love song. Oof. If you know Rihanna's history, you already know who fans immediately thought of. Drake built his entire career around pouring his heart out in the booth, writing track after track about his one-sided infatuation with RiRi. And yet, his fans are the ones acting like she's still stuck on him. One of Drake's stans even dug up his song Fear of Heights, where he took a low blow at Rihanna, calling her average in bed, and captioned it, "Forehead hasn't recovered since." Another OVO fan wrote, "It's all fun and games till Drake claps back with 2 bars. Then y'all will be crying on Twitter for a week, calling him a misogynist." The irony of it all, the only one who's been in his feelings for years is Drake. Meanwhile, Rihanna has moved all the way on, built a whole family with ASAP, and left Drake stuck in his own little fantasy world. And let's be real, Drake is pushing 40 and still doesn't have one serious, long-term relationship to his name. No woman has ever publicly claimed him. Meanwhile, Rihanna has built a life, a family, and an empire, all while Drake keeps rewriting his heartbreak anthems. To understand just how deep his obsession runs, let's rewind. Rihanna and Drake first crossed paths back in 2005 when she was in Toronto shooting Pond Replay. Drake swears he fell in love at first sight, but the feeling? Not mutual. Shortly after, Rihanna started dating Chris Brown, and this is where things got messy. While Rihanna and Chris were together, Drake constantly threw shade at Chris. But the second Rihanna and Chris broke up after that infamous DV situation, Drake switched up. Suddenly, he was cool with Chris, and they were even collaborating on tracks. "I think we just both grew up," Drake said in an interview. "That person that was kind of in the middle of us is no longer in either of our lives currently." So, just like that, he and Chris became best buds. Convenient, right? Now, let's fast forward to 2009, when Rihanna and Drake were spotted getting cozy at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley in NYC. Instant dating rumors. But Rihanna wasted no time shutting it down. She made it clear she was just having fun and wasn't looking for anything serious. But did that stop Drake? Of course not. He kept bringing her up every chance he got. In one interview, he tried to play it off, saying, "I don't know if we ever played board games, but we go bowling a lot." He even joked about playing Scrabble with her, like that was some kind of love story. Meanwhile, Rihanna was out here living her life, while Drake turned a casual bowling date into a whole song. On Fireworks, he sang, "Who could have predicted Lucky Strike would have you stuck with me?" But let's be real, Rihanna was never stuck with Drake. That was all in his head. And when Rihanna continued to brush him off, Drake switched the narrative. Suddenly, she was leading him on. giving him false hope. In a 2010 interview with the New York Times, Drake said, "She was doing exactly what I've done to so many women. Show them quality time, then disappear." I was like, wow, this feels terrible. So basically, he admitted that Rihanna treated him the way he treated other women, and he couldn't handle it. But did that stop him? Nope. Just a couple of years later, he was gushing about her again, telling Rolling Stone that she was still his ultimate fantasy. Then came their collab on Work, and Drake took that as a sign that she was finally ready for him. Fast forward to the 2016 VMAs, and that's when things got real uncomfortable. Drake got up on stage, poured his heart out, and basically confessed his undying love for Rihanna while presenting her with the Vanguard Award. But the energy? Way off. Rihanna looked so over it, like this was her moment, and Drake just had to hijack it for his own little love story. And that was it. That was the last time Rihanna entertained any of Drake's nonsense. She moved on, built a life with ASAP, and left Drake singing the same sad love songs. But now, years later, he's still the one throwing shade. And when Rihanna finally decided to fire back, his fans lost their minds. So what's the truth? Is Drake ever going to really let Rihanna go? Or will he just keep playing the heartbroken lover while she continues to thrive? Either way, one thing is clear. Rihanna is done with his mess, and she's not holding back anymore. Drake had been in love with Rihanna since he was 22, but in a 2018 Vogue interview, RiRi finally spilled the tea. She admitted that sitting through Drake's long-winded speech at the VMAs was beyond uncomfortable. She also made it very clear that she doesn't like excessive compliments or being put on the spot. And when asked about their relationship status, she didn't sugarcoat it. "We don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either. It is what it is." But let's be real, Rihanna didn't cut Drake off just because of that cringy speech. The real reason? She found out through mutual friends that Drake had been hiding an entire child with a French adult film star. And then, of course, Pusha T exposed him for the world to see in the story of Adidon, putting Drake on full blast as a deadbeat dad and forcing him to finally claim his son. Pusha didn't hold back. He made sure everyone knew the truth. I'm talking about the character of a man, the principles of a man. Where do we draw the line? You've got millions and you've got a whole child. One you're out here suppressing. You speak to me in your raps, but you can't speak up about your own son. He wasn't just accusing Drake of ghostwriting scandals, he was making it clear that this wasn't some rumor. The baby ain't alleged, it's real. At that point, Rihanna was officially done with Drake, but instead of dragging him publicly, she took the high road and never spoke about him again. In fact, her 2018 Vogue interview was the last time she ever acknowledged him. But of course, Drake just couldn't let it go. Even though Rihanna made it clear she didn't want anything to do with him, he kept talking about her like she was the one who got away. Just months after she told Vogue they weren't even friends, Drake popped up on The Shop with LeBron and Maverick Carter, reminiscing about how people expected him to settle down with Rihanna. "I wanted that too," he insisted, as if there had ever been a chance. Let's get one thing straight. No one except Drake ever thought he was going to end up with Rihanna. She never publicly claimed him as her boyfriend, and they were never close to making it official. But somehow, Drake convinced himself that she was his future baby mama. And if you thought that was wild, just wait. It gets even worse. The moment Rihanna went public with ASAP Rocky, Drake completely flipped. One minute, he was reminiscing about her like a lost love, and the next, he was acting like a bitter, salty ex. He started dissing both Rihanna and ASAP, downplaying their relationship, and even taking cheap shots at her in his music. He even went so far as to call her average in bed. We all know the type. A guy who's obsessed with a woman, but the second she rejects him, he starts trashing her like she was never worth it in the first place. Most men grow out of this behavior in high school, but for Drake, it only got worse with age. On Fear of Heights, he straight up brags about sleeping with women way better than Rihanna, rapping, "Yeah, and the ex was average with you. Yeah, I'm auntie, 'cause I had it with you." And just when you think he'd finally move on, he proves he's still salty. He even threw shade at ASAP Rocky with lines like, Why they make it sound like I'm still hung up on you? That could never be, girl. Can't ruin me. Better him than me. And it didn't stop there. Drake also fired another shot at his album For All the Dogs, rapping, "I am pretty flacco, this get really rocky." But Rihanna? She stayed classy and ignored the drama. Meanwhile, Drake just couldn't let it go. Last August, right after taking a major L in his rap beef with Kendrick, Drake suddenly dropped 100 gigabytes of unreleased content, including old clips of him and Rihanna from way back in the day, like one where they were rehearsing for Take Care, and another of him in the studio wearing a Rihanna t-shirt. And as if that wasn't desperate enough, Drake came for ASAP Doll again on Family Matters, taking jabs at him for putting his family first, rapping, "I ain't even know you rap still, 'cause they only talk about your fit. Again, probably gotta have a kid again. Before you think of dropping any hits again." So let's get this straight. Drake thinks prioritizing family is a bad thing? And leaking those random Rihanna clips right after taking a loss against Kendrick? It just made him look even more pathetic. But now that Rihanna finally threw some light shade at Drake in that Savage X Fenty promo, Drake's fans are losing it. They're coming for her, claiming she's the one who can't get over him. But what do you think? Did Rihanna just throw some serious shade at Drake with that comment about cringy love songs? And how do you feel about Drake's fans attacking her like she's the one who's obsessed? Drop your thoughts below.